So we have gone and received inspiration from our lovely Brianna Wiest, 101 Essays That Will Change the Way You Think. Great book, and strongly recommend this. And nobody gets any affiliates just because we've done that. There is a passage in here that we decided that we wanted to talk about, and it reads as follows. If you stopped and thought about it, you could come up with 10 things that you're grateful for. Your problems aren't so much not having as they are not recognizing what you do have. Gratitude incites more doing, more reciprocation. Positive feelings never leave you stagnating and overthinking them. And I think it's very, very powerful. And I think there's a huge difference between uh, recognizing what it is that you do have than creating a gratitude list that is just a check off thing. Do you know what I mean? Like to
Yeah.
sit and go,
Explain further. So what's the
what?
so I go, oh, I'm glad for this. I'm happy for my life for this. Or what are you saying?
For myself, I this feels close to my heart because when I was in the worst of my anxiety and back over 10 years ago, gratitude is what got me out of my depression, the practice of gratitude. And it would be 10 things that I'm grateful for every day. Now, it wasn't a checklist. I'm glad. Sometimes it would be, I am so grateful that I slept 2 hours last night straight through because I wasn't sleeping at night. I would be grateful for the smallest of things, the taste of my tea in the morning. I'd be so grateful for it would be, I would take the minutest things sometimes, Tracy G, that people take for granted, anything. And it helped me start changing, tipping my mindset from what I didn't have and what I was in the thralls of going through to understanding what I had. Because when you're in a state of anxiety, state of depression, a state of um, uneasiness, you're always worried about the next step. It could be your next, what I'm going through. I'm going to lose my job because my job was so high stressful. I was going through a divorce. I was going through things with my children. It was all of this stuff. And I was constantly thinking of everything that was wrong in my life. And I didn't have the biggest place. I was in this tiny 300 square foot apartment with used furniture. But when I started to break down the smallest of gratitude, and even at night when I laid in bed in the worst of my days, I thought of 10 things to be grateful for from that day. That could have been from the worst day of my life. It brought me out. It made me refocus and reprogram my mind.
That is like so blows me away because right away I was like, okay, you said 10 things and then I'm going to go, she's going to say her health, she's going to say this and all that. And then you go, a cup of tea. Um, and it's just like, oh, wait a minute. This is completely different than what I was thinking because of the place you were at. This is these are these little things, though they were small, maybe to me at this point in my life, were huge for you at your that point in your life. That's pretty amazing.
But I even still do it today. Me having a cup of tea, I will be totally grateful for. For me to walk out on the grass, I'll be totally grateful for. When I start pulling apart and understanding the little things I have, they they add up to the bigger things that are your happiness in your life. For me, Tracy E., what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's That's it. I don't know what else to say. That's it. It's I think we spend so much time in what we either don't want in our life. I don't want this, I don't want that, I don't want this. Or we spend a ton of time going, I don't have, I don't have, I don't have. That we're missing out on all the stuff that is actually there. And I don't, it doesn't have to be big stuff. Like you said, Michelle, it can be something as simple as, man, I have clean drinking water. I don't have to
Hmm.
worry about that. I have clean drinking water. I I actually woke up today.
Hmm.
And it's really hard when you and what I meant earlier by not just making this a checklist of, okay, I'm just going to write down a bunch of stuff that I'm grateful for, but not like feeling it,
Feel it.
like act you
Yes.
like actually feeling it. When you actually feel it, it's very difficult to be in a bad mood when you're
Hmm.
actually feeling the gratitude. It is one of the quickest ways to get yourself out of bad mindset, bad vibes, bad whatever, into something feeling good when you actually are feeling it, when you actually are saying, you know what, man, I am like so lucky that I get to fill in the blank,
Yep.
and it is, I think the practice, it doesn't have to be it's 7:30 in the morning, so I have to sit down and do my gratitude journal. It doesn't have to be that. It is it may be at first if you're not used to it to say, okay, I have to, this is something I have to start. I'm going to practice this. And then, I'm going to start to get clear on how it is that I want this practice to evolve, right? It could be, I want reminders on my phone at, 3 o'clock in the afternoon when I'm usually feeling like crap and I'm thinking I don't have enough time. I don't have this. I don't have that. That's the time that I want to sit back and reflect and go, wait a minute. I'm so lucky. I'm so lucky that
Hmm.
I have this. I'm so grateful that I get to do that. And it's truly a game changer. It really and truly is a game changer.
And I like the way, I can't remember which one of you said it. We're always like, what's wrong? Even with what's going on in the world,
Hmm.
anywhere
Hmm.
you turn on the news, it is always, there's always bad news. There is. And
That's
so
what
this
sells.
is right. But this is a way to, if that's all you're always seeing and
Hmm.
that's all you're always thinking,
Hmm.
you miss you miss what is the smallest things of gratitude. And no offense, I think it was 3 episodes ago, I can't remember how many, we were talking about, are you getting old because you sat in front of a pond
Mm.
reflecting? Well, that's not, you're not getting old. That's like that's grateful. You get to sit and chill. You got a pond that was your dad's. Like if we reflection is really part of gratitude. You get to sit and think of good things and think of life and think of the happiness. And this just pulls you out of that negative energy and pulls you into a more positive and loving energy. Do you, Tracy G, practice gratitude?
I'm trying to figure out, like, officially, do I sit down and do, like, no. But do I embrace throughout the day? Yeah. Like, and so I'm just trying to, like, I'm thinking of my pond and I go, my little sitting out there. And part of that is just like, oh, I'm so happy the birds are here. And I don't say I'm grateful, but I just go, oh, this
No.
moment is so nice. Like, I get to, like, the sun is coming and what a, beautiful moment and all that. But I don't think I acknowledge it as being, I don't think I ever use the word grateful, but I do, from a feeling, embrace, like, this is this, like, my husband and I, we go on walks and I always am like, like, I'm so lucky that I am, I have a great partner, but I also can, walk and go through the, because we're very close to a big park and I'm always, so, but I'm not officially saying I'm grateful.
But you
Ah.
still are practicing it. You
Mhm.
don't have, just because you don't sit there and write it down and do it a formal thing, you're still it's still part of your subconscious. It's
Hmm.
part of your mindset. So you might not think that you're doing it, but
Right.
you do have a practice. You do in a format have that practice.
Yeah. And that's why, like, it's just about recognizing those moments and feeling that energy, that positive energy, and letting yourself feel it. Like getting,
Hmm.
like, not trying to, okay, well, I got to get on with something else. Like, yeah, that's really nice, beautiful pond, but like,
Right.
something else has to happen.
Hmm.
It's like to get immersed in that moment of being in that moment, right? And I think when we do that, when we take the time to just go, I really appreciate this. I mean, it doesn't have to be I'm grateful for. It can be I just really appreciate this, or God, I just feel like so happy that, or I'm so lucky to, like you said, I'm so lucky to be able to go for a walk with my hubby. Like in this
Mhm.
beautiful park, it's like green, and
Yeah,
like, yeah, you know what? Like that is really super special.
But don't you think that's the glass half full rather than half empty
Mm.
type attitude?
Mhm.
Because why is that different?
I think it takes
Intentional
intentional
thought.
thought to go, I am so lucky to be walking in this park with my hubby. That is very direct. It's very intentional. It's very much recognizing that moment. And when we are intentional like that, it is it connects to the emotion. And when you connect to the emotion, that's where all the power is. It's like I said, like to sit there and go, I'm grateful for this, that I'm grateful, you're just jotting down a bunch of stuff, but you're just doing it because you're going to check it off
Yeah.
your to-do list that day. That's not really practicing gratitude. It's like, yeah, you've done the thing, but like, did you really feel anything when you did it?
right.
Like, are you really, did you really sip on that tea and go, this tastes
Yes.
amazing? This is the best moment right now. It's the intentionality of it, I think. I still think you can be a person that practices that and be a person that still is a half glass full kind of gal. I
Yeah,
think you can be both.
you can. And here's the funny thing also, I recognized this when I was doing my race, that the gratitude of the race, we talked about this a couple episodes ago also, the gratitude to do gratitude during the training, or what they call it, take this the journey to the goal, not the goal. Sometimes, you feel like you can only feel gratitude when you've completed an item, but gratitude should be celebrated every day as you're on your journey moving forward.
Mhm.
So even if, let's just take, you're going to, well, take me, like when I started running, I was running 1 minute on, 1 minute off for 24 minutes. And it was 12 sessions of that. And so at the end, I would feel gratitude. If I didn't feel it then, I would have probably never gotten to my goal, because then I would have had the thought process of, huh, I could only do this. How am I
Yeah.
ever going to get to my goal? Well, having the gratitude each step of the way, even in my stumbles, allowed me to do the 32 miles in 24 hours and climb all that feet. So I think we need to look at gratitude as part of our mindset, because as we're on a journey, if we are constantly looking at where we went wrong and it being a failure, instead of, gee, I made this mistake. What can I learn from it? Yeah, I made this mistake, but I tried it. Like, there's so much that we can pull out in a form of gratitude that is not just like, oh, I got up today. Oh, yes, I have a house to live in. Oh, yes, I have a roof over my head. If you just are doing it as a motion, it's no different than anything else we do.
Mhm.
And the start of this, though, was that it's a solution to your problems.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yes,
So, so not that, or maybe, and your obstacles, perhaps.
yes.
Right. Because
So,
your race
yeah,
wasn't a problem, but there was
no,
obstacles. And
there
by,
was obstacle. Well, it would have been a problem if I didn't train and get out and do my stuff and I go to hit start and I'm going to fall flat on my face. Right. But you can have problems. I was explaining in the beginning, I was going through a divorce. I was in a high stress job. Those are problems, they're obstacles, they're a change. There was a change in my financials, there was a change in all kinds of stuff. And so there's the gratitude didn't solve my problems, but it allowed my brain to free up to find solutions.
kind of reset.
Hmm.
Yes, yes. It didn't solve my problems.
Right.
It just allowed me to reset, like
Yeah.
you said.
It allows you to think differently.
Yeah.
Yes,
You're coming from a different place when you are feeling, when you are intentionally appreciating something
yes,
than when you're sitting there going, oh God, this is like, this is never going to work. I can't do this.
right.
I'm not
I
this.
can't
I'm,
do it. Yes,
yeah.
Yeah.
yep.
Like you close down and you literally have,
Yeah.
your brain goes, okay, yeah, no, we have no options here. You're right.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
We got none, you know? But when we're like, and not that you can flip from one to the other like in a second, you don't, but I think if you can practice that intentionality of thought, that you give your brain more options of being open
Yep,
and being able to go, okay, it's not as bad as I think.
Hmm.
Right? This isn't as bad as I think. I got to brainstorm here, or I
yep,
need to call somebody to help brainstorm, or
yep.
whatever that looks like, right? Like that's the difference.
It gives you a breath. It gives you a breath.
Mm.
And sometimes when you do that, you might not even find the answer right then and there. I want to make sure people understand that. It's not finding all of a sudden you find it, but you do find it.
Hmm.
It's you once you start because you start peeling, it's these onions, you just start peeling away. And all of a sudden, it's just like if I was to think back, I'd be like, yeah. So, viewer, how do you or do you practice gratitude? And you've heard different ways we practice it. Do you follow suit? Do you have your own way? Put it down in the comments. We'd love to hear about that. Share this with somebody that you think this would benefit from it. Make sure you hit subscribe and that like button and hit notifications so you know when our next episode comes out. Until next time.
Thanks for watching, and we hope to see you as a regular member of our community.